What I'm going to do right now is just go over real quick how to start your Illustrator tracing again in case you need some more help. So first thing you want to do is start a print document. So go ahead and open up Illustrator and you want to double click print document. Now you want to change this to inches. It's up to you if you want to, what direction you want to go. If you want to go with the landscape or vertical, it depends probably on your piece. So I'll go with the landscape though for now. Just hit OK. And then I'm going to go to Safari and we're going to go to Images Google. And you want to search your image. So I'm looking up banana. And this one looks like the one I was using yesterday. So I want you to download this image or save the image as, whatever works. So I'll save it to my desktop and hit save. At this point it'll be in there. So what you're going to do is just take that and drop it into Illustrator. And remember what I was saying yesterday was you don't want to work on this file. You actually want to copy this. So I'm going to Command C, close that one down. I don't need it anymore. And Command V, paste it into my actual working file. And then I'm going to stretch this out holding down Shift so it doesn't get too crazy distorted. So that looks pretty good. Next thing now is I want to start tracing it out. A couple things I want to do also is just set up my file. So over here in my layers, I'm going to title this just banana because this is my original banana image. What I did there is I just dragged out that layers tab and I'm going to lock that layer. Then I'm going to make a new master layer because remember all those shapes that we draw are going to be subpaths underneath this. So I'm just going to call this shapes or paths. Hit OK. So I want to be working on this one. You wouldn't be able to work on this one anyway because it has a lock. Okay, so from here, what you really want to do is work general to specific. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to get my eyedropper tool here. And that eyedropper, I'm going to select a color. So I'm going to basically pick like a really general space, which again is like this bottom part of the banana that kind of wraps up. You don't have to go into this, but I'm going to. And I'll say this is about the neutral, middle color of that banana. So I have that, and I'm going to open up my pen tab. So I have that open at all times. Now I'm going to go and basically just trace this out. So I'm clicking and I'm holding to adjust those Bezier curves. You can kind of see. And if one gets off, I'm going to go back and fix it later. Now you can see right now the fill is turned on for this shape that I'm drawing. So it's making it problematic for me to see. So I'm going to go and switch that. So it's just my my stroke color. The nice thing, oops, I clicked on that line so it wouldn't let me do that. Nice thing about that is then you still have that color saved. So you just need to toggle back over here when you switch that color back to your fill. So again, I'm going pretty slow. I'm really trying to get this shape as good as I can in terms of what it actually looks like. Now you can see there's definitely parts that are kind of getting off track here and it's not looking exactly, but I'm going to go down or go back and fix those up. So if you need more points at any point, you can always just go and add more with that add anchor point tool. So here I'm going to go back in and let's see what kind of parts look a little bit weird. Looks like this is one of them. Let's see, that one looks okay. This one could be adjusted a little bit. So basically when I click, it's kind of giving me those pull-out tabs, those handles, and then I can adjust how this thing is curved. So, now this will come up sometimes if you click on something that's not a point. All right, now for this demo, I'm kind of staying pretty neutral, but if I were you guys, I would zoom in a little bit more using this magnifying glass down at the bottom here, and just hold Option, and you can back out of that. All right, so that shape is looking pretty good. So it's selected. I'm going to switch it back, and now I have that fill. All right, now you can see there's some parts that maybe need to be moved over here. So I'll click on this. All right, I'll adjust this a little bit. Oops. So I just want to click on that one point. Just move it up. And I'm going to adjust this handle, and that looks pretty good. So I'm going to say for now that looks, pretty much how I want it to be. Okay, so my Illustrator file is a little bit further here, so I'll kind of show you what's going on. I'm going to open up my layers just over here, and here's my original banana layer. So that's what I've drawn so far. Not really that much. but a little bit, you know, a little bit's kind of mapped out. So I'm looking at, again, all the planes and kind of just seeing what things I need to trace and what things I need to make this thing look more realistic and three-dimensional. So highlight points, lowlights, and really the more parts you do, the more, you know, realistic it's going to look. So the last thing I just wanted to talk about real quick was my my arranging layer. So right here, there's a little part of this banana that kind of goes behind this, but I've already drawn on top. So I'm going to select this color, which is just this little white kind of shape here, you know, whitish yellow, and I'm just going to draw it out here. Now, this particular shape is going to actually go in front. Now, you can see it's covering it up, so I could turn on my fill there. And actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this go underneath here. Even though it's going to cover this up initially, we're going to be able to arrange this. So I'm going to drag that handle out. There we go. That might be a little bit off. And then connect it in. It looked like that one was a little bit off, so I'm going to get my direct selection tool. And I'm going to move that point up. And I'm going to toggle back. So you can see here, this is actually covering up part of the banana. That's way too much. So there's a couple ways you can deal with this. One of the ways you can deal with this is you can actually just drop this behind that. Now, this layer is probably on the bottom, so I'll show you here. And that actually worked just by me dropping it. Now, if you had a lot of layers, though, and it was really confusing, so then that was there, what you could do is actually right-click or control-click on this shape. Oops. You have to select it first, then go right-click or control-click. And then we're going to arrange, and you can say, in this case, we want this thing to go backwards, but you could also bring this all the way to the front, which is where it is now anyway on this layer. You can bring it forward one at a time. You can send it back one at a time, or send it back. So if I send it back one at a time, see there, it didn't do anything because it's only going behind this little shape down there. That was the dark shape. So in this case, I'm going to say arrange, send it back. Right now, if you did not put your original image on another layer, it's going to send it behind that, so that would be problematic as well. If that were the case, make sure you make a new master layer and take that stuff and move it over there. Okay. But at this point, you're kind of, you know, seeing how this thing's going to be starting to come about. And if you have any questions, I can help you on Monday. So.